Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Business, and I'm doing the overview of the Tier 9 Japanese cruiser, the Ibuki. I've unfortunately christened this the Ibuki because, in general, I don't know. I hate this ship, and I'm gonna try to keep it positive while going over things. But yeah, I'm not gonna pull any punches on this one because it's got some issues, and it kind of goes back to the fact that high tier is basically being ignored by the balancing team for this game, and there's a lot of work that the ship needs, but that's neither here nor there just yet. So, taking a look at the stats, it has a 15-second reload on these cannons. They have a 36-second 180-degree turret traverse. So you're seeing everything right now in its completely stock form. I don't have a captain on this because I don't have the ship anymore. I sold the damn thing. The fire chance on the HE shells is really good, I think, at least. I honestly don't even pay attention to that stat at 17%, and the max AP damage is at 4,700. I believe the Mogami's 203s are the same, but the Zao has 5,400 max AP damage, so when you hit the Citadel there, it's going to be worth a little bit more. It does have decently mounted torpedo tubes, and these are 2x4 on each side, so you're able to launch 8 torps each side, and they have a stock range of 10 kilometers at 62 knots and 109-second reload. They do solid damage at about 17,000. There is an upgrade for this, and puts it up to around 20,000 damage, 67 knots. You have about an 11-second increase on the reload, so it's right at the 2-minute mark. The AA is pretty weak, and it's the Japanese cruiser and high tier. You're not really going to be doing much in the way of shooting things down, so you're really just more about being able to help battleships disperse the bombs and the torpedoes coming in. But the current state of the game, unfortunately, that whole bracket of statistics hardly matters. Your AA defense means almost nothing right now. The Rudder Shift is actually pretty good. For some reason, it feels like it takes longer than it should to get the ship moving, and maybe if I actually purchased the hull upgrade, it would have helped out a little bit more. I think it would have brought it down with the Rudder Shift, the 20% Rudder Shift reduction. I think it would have been in like the 5-second range, which is really damn good. You can increase the range up to about 20 kilometers if you do the range upgrade for the module, and to have that with the FCS upgrade. That's a big deal. Because your concealment range at stock is 12.5 kilometers. You can get that below 10 and have a nice buffer for your Invisifier, and frankly, that's the only way you can really play the ship effectively. And to me, that's a problem. For this being forced into this role is a problem to me. I don't think it suits really anybody. I mean, you shouldn't have... Cruisers are supposed to be flexible, right? They're supposed to have the ability to, kind of be standoffish and then move in and, keep that rate of fire up and, keep things on fire, just to keep enemies away from their capital ships, right? This isn't that type of ship. This is more like a destroyer playing at being a cruiser. It's like an Atlanta in the sense that you have to keep ships at arm's length at all possible times, because the ship will get completely annihilated by ships that are 2 tiers lower than it. My main problem, honestly, with the ship, as it's the shell travel time. These shells feel like I'm shooting like hang gliders or something out of these cannons. They just take forever and they just sail, and there's no sense of urgency to the ship at all. It feels really awkward for me to play it, and I don't think that whatever they've decided to do with this ship, as far as, hey, this is the role this will fill, you don't really get training on that with any other ship before it. The Kuma, the Furutaka, the Aoba, Miyoko, and the Mogami, that all come before it are better ships. And I'm not actually joking, because I do as well in the Kuma as I do in the damn Ibuki. I mean, the statistics are astonishing to me. When I actually look this up on the stats page and everything, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I average 48,000 damage in this. I basically do the same thing in the... I actually perform better by something like 35% in the Aoba. And my performance with the Furitaka is right on par with the Tier 9 Ibuki. I mean, isn't that fucked up to anybody? That's so weird. And, like, I mean, the Imperator Nikolai, the Tier 4 premium Russian battleship, I do better at that than I do this by a pretty considerable margin. I don't know what to think about it. And while everybody dogged on the Izumo, and I found love for that, you know, nobody really talks about the Ibuki that much, because they just tend to free XP it and get to the Zao right away. And props to anybody who actually grinds this ship out. I don't know how the hell you do it, but personally, I just cannot find a way to play this that suits me. And, you know, that's not necessarily the ship's fault. It's not necessarily my fault either. It's the combination of factors where it just doesn't have the armor to be able to stand up to anything at all. And the cannons, I think, are too damn slow to matter against anything other than battleships, or if you get, you know, a good shot at a destroyer. And when it comes to AP, you have to consider the fact that you're in Tier 9, Tier 10 matches far more often than if you were using the Mogami with the 203s. So the penetration needed to go up, but it doesn't. And so it turns out to be pretty bad. I would actually have to say it's amongst the worst in the game. I'd rather play the low tier battleships than play this, not due to dispersion, but just the combination of factors in terms of how it handles. I don't care for it. But this clip here on Land of Fire is actually my best played match, and not in damage or anything, but the way I played this ship is I tried something different here, and it worked. I leapfrogged from island to island, and tried to have these pocket engagements kind of thing, where I wanted to limit the amount of incoming fire as best as I could, because the ship just can't stand up to anything, obviously. But, you know, they have a lot of battleships, and I have to play my cards very carefully here. You'll see the smoke off to the very left edge of the screen there. Destroyer popped up, so I'm going to start heading over there in just a second, but I have to dodge some torps first. Now, I'll say that it's been a long time since I've played this tier of cruiser, and I mean, we're talking at the end of closed beta, so just please consider the fact that my experience with these ships is also being contrasted to when the game was actually rather different, and HE performance was considerably better. You know, the shells, the arc on all the shells for all the ships was actually far better, and you know, it's taken some time to try to get used to this. I'm having trouble with the Zao. I'm honestly, I would say I'm rather underwhelmed by the Zao currently, because while other people are like, oh my god, it's amazing, oh my god, it's the best cruiser, you probably didn't play it in CBT, because if you think that now, holy shit, you would have been all over this thing in closed beta. And I'll be the first to admit, the ship needed to be toned down, because it was too damn good. I wanted to play it more than any other ship, and I was pulling like 113,000 average damage in, you know, 20 plus matches with it or something like that. It was viciously dangerous, and I as you could see there a moment ago, I damn near got hit by shells by a ship that didn't see me, because the teammate in his Zao right off to my port side, he was shot at and he was detected, so oh boy. But this is a very interesting moment here. I'm actually setting up an ambush against a tier 9 destroyer. I mean, how often can I actually do that in any ship, whether it's a destroyer or, in this case, obviously a cruiser? I get detected right about now, which is interesting because I didn't know that there was another kangaroo right over here. That kind of changes things a little bit. So I do get a good salvo into the first Kagero. I launch a different set of spreads of torps to try to catch him off guard. My teammate in the Zao also sends off torps to try to catch him, and the rear Kagero tries to send off a set of torps to catch me if I kept going. But luckily, that's not the case. Somehow that Kagero missed the torps there, or dodged them. I think both are accurate, but runs into mine. So luckily, managed to take one down. I'm still spotted, however, against far too many battleships. So I'm gonna start trying to anticipate those shots coming in. You could see, yeah. Oh man, you know, this is the thing too. At any angle, this ship gets citadeled, and it seems like you just can't really catch a break with this, or at least I couldn't when I played it. I only played 17 matches with it. I really didn't get the feeling that I was in control of being able to mitigate incoming damage by angling. It really just didn't seem to matter at all. I might as well have been driving a damn Erie or something like that. There was nothing I could really do to mitigate damage except run away and get out of concealment range. That was truly the only defensive option I felt like I had. So I turned back around using the island here to figure out my next course of action. I'm still detected, unfortunately, so you know, it's been a little bit since I fired, so I know it's most likely because the other Kagero is in the spot where he can still see me. So I think it's time to do my breakout here, and I'm still spotted, unfortunately, by that damn Kagero, and I really, looking at this moment here, I know exactly what's on the other side of this island, you know, further away. I'm not saying like right up close, but this is probably not the smartest decision to make in this ship, because that's a Yamato, and luckily he just fires, because it's not at me. So he's firing at the various ships behind me. But if you've watched the movement of my ship at this point, what I've been trying to do on the mini-map here is to have a buffer zone for my battleships, and I'm trying to push up as fast as I can and basically crash into these islands like again, like it's paintball, and running into the bunkers. And I'm doing my maneuvering here, trying to, you know, avoid as much incoming damage as possible. The problem is that cruiser is a Hindenburg, and he far outclasses this ship, and so he clearly switches to AP, as I find out here in just a second. So he misses that salvo. I think that's the Yamato there. Might have been something else. No, I'm pretty sure it was the Yamato, but this is definitely the Hindenburg. And he nails the shit out of me. But not before I get to the island. So, I'm in a good spot now. Well, at least I hope I am, because I still can't see the Kagero. I only assume that he's to the front of my bow or off to the left. So that's my hope, at least, so he doesn't have a good shot at me with torpedoes. But you know, I'm trying to make sure that my battleships can move up. I'm trying to clear a bit more of a space to allow them to be able to push up and start putting pressure on the enemy battleships. And that's exactly what happens, actually. This played out really well, where the enemy battleships decide to sort of do the same thing, and they push up a little bit and press against the island to try to manage you know, some shelter from all the various battleships that I have behind me. So the closest ship to me, while I'm shooting this Amagi, you'll see on the mini-map there, he's just off to the left. That's an Izumo, and there's also, I think, the Yamato is closing in as well. So this is coming to a head, and you know there's going to be a lot of action here, and this will decide the outcome of the game. Even though we have an almost 400-point lead, this can all swing immensely quickly here. I mean, with all the caliber of, you know, these ships, there's so much that can happen in such a short period of time. Unfortunately, the Kagero was further off, closer to the edge of the map than I anticipated, and he dumped a whole spread of torps. So I'm gonna bust a move here, try to get around as fast as I can, and I nearly died there. The Amagi sunk some rounds right into, well, I'm amazed that didn't kill me outright. That should have been the Citadel hit from where it hit and everything, but I'm pushing against the Izumo and the Yamato being on the right. I send a spread of wide torps off to the Izumo, and I'm trying to get this Yamato to turn, so in the event that I die, hopefully I can force him to turn as he's doing and expose his broadside to all these battleships that I have on my team here, and hopefully we can nuke him. So the amazing part is, look at all the secondary and primary fire that the ship has taken. Like, this looks like the first night of the Gulf War over Baghdad, like all the the secondary and AA fire, all that stuff, you know, just amazing. And unfortunately, as I was lining up the torp run on the Yamato, which, oh man, I wish I would have got that off, the match ends. So we did get the win. A terrible match by any standards as far as damage XP is concerned, but the movement and pushing up to try to help my team to do the same, you know, that was the influence I've been trying to have happen with the ship that I really haven't had happen in the 16 other matches that I played it. You know, this ship personally is just not for me. It has problems, it needs some work, but, you know, it can do well, but I just think it's such an uphill battle with it. So thank you for watching, and I'll leave the upcoming stream info for Thursday and Friday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, in the description. But thanks for watching again, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.